The night was cold and unforgiving, and the city seemed to breathe indifference through its towering buildings, when a single moment quietly began to change multiple lives forever. On a dimly lit roadside near a luxury hospital, a poor single father stood beside his broken-down delivery cart, his hands cracked from years of labor, his eyes heavy with exhaustion and responsibility. He had nothing left for the day except faith, and that faith was about to be tested in a way he could never have imagined. What happened next would ripple through wealth, pain, pride, and love, eventually leaving a powerful woman in tears and a broken family stitched back together by humanity. Before the story unfolds further, take a moment to pause. If you believe that kindness still exists in this world, that second chances can change destinies, and that compassion matters more than money, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. The man's name was Arav, a widowed father in his late 30s, whose life had narrowed into a single purpose after tragedy struck years earlier. His wife had passed away during a difficult illness, leaving him alone with a young son and a mountain of debts. Since then, Arav had worked every job he could find, from construction sites to night shifts and food delivery, often surviving on one meal a day. He owned no property, no savings, and no powerful connections. What he did have was integrity, quiet resilience, and a heart that refused to harden despite everything life had taken from him. That evening, Arav had been making a late delivery near the private hospital district, a place he rarely visited because it reminded him of everything he could not afford. As he waited helplessly beside his malfunctioning cart, he noticed a luxury car pull up not far away. Inside it was a young girl, no older than 10, seated in a specialized wheelchair. Her legs were motionless, her body fragile, and her eyes carried a loneliness far older than her age. She was the daughter of one of the richest businessmen in the city, a billionaire whose name appeared on skyscrapers and news headlines, but whose wealth could not protect his child from a severe disability caused by a rare spinal condition. The girl had been undergoing yet another exhausting round of treatments. Her body was tired, but her spirit was quietly observant. As her attendants struggled to adjust her wheelchair after a small mechanical failure, impatience hovered in the air. This was a world where problems were solved with money, but in that moment, money was useless. Arav, despite his own troubles, noticed the struggle and walked over without hesitation. He had no medical training, no status, and nothing to gain. He simply saw a child in need. Using his experience from years of fixing broken tools and machines, Arav knelt down and carefully examined the wheelchair. His hands moved gently, respectfully, as if the chair and the child were both precious. Within minutes, he managed to realign the jammed support and secure it safely. The girl's posture improved instantly, easing visible discomfort. Her tired eyes lifted, not with excitement, but with relief. Arav offered a soft smile and stepped back, expecting nothing in return. What he didn't know was that the girl's mother had been watching from a distance. She was a woman accustomed to control, influence, and instant solutions. Life had taught her to trust contracts more than people, money more than mercy. Yet as she watched this poor, worn man help her daughter with more care than many paid professionals ever had, something shifted inside her. She saw patience, humility, and sincerity that money could not buy. In the following days, the girl began to ask about the man who fixed her wheelchair. She remembered his calm presence, how he had spoken with his actions rather than words. Against the norms of their elite world, the mother arranged to find him. Arav was stunned when he was summoned to the massive estate where luxury dripped from every corner. He felt small, out of place, and almost turned back. But his sense of responsibility and curiosity pushed him forward. When Arav arrived, he learned the truth about the girl's condition. Despite countless specialists, treatments, and international consultations, her progress had been painfully slow. What no one had noticed, however, was how emotionally isolated she had become. Surrounded by wealth, she lacked connection. Arav, who had raised a child alone with nothing but love and struggle, understood something that no medical degree could teach. Healing required more than procedures, it required presence. The mother, conflicted yet hopeful, offered Arav a simple request. She asked him to spend time with her daughter, not as a caretaker or employee, but as a companion who understood hardship. Arav hesitated. He knew the boundaries between their worlds were vast, but he also saw a child yearning for normalcy, for someone who did not see her as fragile glass or a problem to be solved. He agreed, believing that kindness should never be restricted by class. Over weeks, Arav's visits became routine. He helped the girl with small exercises, not as therapy, but as encouragement. He told her stories of perseverance, of falling and standing up again, of life beyond fear. He never pitied her. He treated her as capable, intelligent, and strong. Slowly, her confidence began to change. She started attempting movements she had once avoided. Her laughter returned in small, precious moments. Doctors noticed subtle improvements not only in her physical responses, but in her emotional resilience. Meanwhile, Arav's own life remained difficult. He still struggled to pay rent, worried about his son's education, and faced exhaustion daily. Yet, he never asked for help. The mother observed this quietly. She learned about his past, his sacrifices, and the dignity with which he carried his burdens. For the first time in years, she questioned the way she had measured worth. She had believed success was defined by wealth and power, but here was a man with nothing who had given her daughter something priceless. As months passed, a breakthrough occurred. During one session, the girl managed a movement that doctors had said might never happen. It was small, almost imperceptible, but it was real. Her body responded with strength fueled by belief. When the medical team confirmed it, the house erupted with disbelief and cautious hope. But the most powerful moment came later that night. The mother stood alone in her daughter's room, watching her sleep peacefully. Tears streamed down her face, not because of money spent or victories won, but because she realized how blind she had been. She had spent years fighting the world, trying to control outcomes, believing that love could be replaced by resources. Arav's presence had shattered that illusion. He had given her daughter courage, and in doing so, he had healed a part of her that had been broken long before her child's illness. If this story is already touching your heart, please take a moment to comment below. Let us know where you're watching from and what this story made you feel. Your words mean more than you know. The mother made a decision that would change Arav's life forever. She offered to financially support him, to erase his debts, to give him opportunities he had never dreamed of. But she also did something far more meaningful. She asked him to remain part of their lives, not as charity, but as family. Arav accepted not for wealth, but for the chance to continue being a source of strength and hope. In time, Arav's son received an education he could only have imagined. Arav himself was given a role in a foundation dedicated to helping disabled children from underprivileged backgrounds, not as a figurehead, but as a leader who understood their struggles firsthand. The girl continued her journey, facing challenges with renewed courage, knowing she was valued not for her condition, but for her spirit. Near the end of this journey, as the family gathered for a small celebration of progress, the mother finally allowed herself to break down completely. Her tears were not of sadness, but of gratitude and humility. She realized that the poorest man had given her the richest gift, a reminder that humanity is the greatest wealth of all. As this story comes to a close, if it moved you, inspired you, or reminded you of the power of kindness, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps spread stories that restore faith in humanity. And before you leave, comment one word that describes how this story made you feel. Sometimes, a single word can carry a lifetime of emotion. This is not just a story about a poor single dad or a billionaire's daughter. It is a reminder that real miracles are born when compassion crosses boundaries, when love replaces pride, and when one ordinary act of kindness changes everything.